So, what we got?
Alright, earlier this week, there's been controversy going on with rapper Lil Yachty. He had recently went on Black Boy Mac's stream, where he had some disturbing lyrics about placing his knee on someone's neck in reference to George Floyd. And of course, you know, they received a lot of backlash, even to Steven Jackson speaking out. I want to know your thoughts on that, and do you have any words for Lil Yachty or any other upcoming rapper that would probably make the same mistake?
I mean, I don't think it's a mistake. I just think it's disrespect. You know what I'm saying? I think it's just disrespect. Lil Yachty wanted to disrespect George Floyd. You know, he say F the dead. You feel me? People reference like Lil Wayne when Lil Wayne say beat him up like Rodney King. You know, I would say the difference between that and even when people mention like what's my brother who got his face dismembered? Emmett Till. First of all, those were at least decades apart afterwards. You know what I'm saying? Our brother George Floyd, and not that it's still, when you think about it in context, it's still terrible that we make fun of those things and we turn these things. It's still disrespectful to the dead, but these were particularly decades afterwards, right? Our brother George Floyd just lost his life 5 years ago. You understand me? It was one of the biggest cultural shifting moments of our time, right? And so you going out your way to sell a weak-ass song just so you can disrespecting him at the same time on your promo run, right, makes it lame.
Do you feel like we only having this conversation because we have the internet involved? Because, you know, growing up, hip-hop wasn't as sensitive nowadays to whatever you say in your music as we are today.
No, I think we didn't have those conversations back then because we didn't have the internet.
Right.
You know what I mean? Which is a good thing, right? It's like there's a lot of things that rappers did that was super suspect that we didn't have lines of communication to speak about. You know what I mean? Things that they would say in their lines that was weird. You understand me? That was like, you got to remember when Rick Ross said he go put something Molly all up in her drink, she didn't even know it. Right. The internet caught that line. Before the internet, we would have just listened to it. It would have been a quick conversation at the barbershop maybe, but it wouldn't have been anything consequential to it. The internet allows us to respond to things in real time and check them. You understand me? And to bring back shame for things that should be shamed. Right? So that's cultural correction consistently. So if you see somebody disrespecting the dead, especially a man, I don't care what you think about George Floyd. The man died, you know what I mean, because a white man put his knee on his neck. Right. And he died, screaming out for his mother. Right? It's just disrespectful and lame as shit for you to then go turn that into a cheap lyric, you feel me, that doesn't even make any sense. You know what I mean? You put a knee on your neck like George. Like, how does that even make sense? It don't even make sense.
All right, so when it comes to black on black crime, is that equivalent to these rappers talking about they smoking on their dead out and mentioning their name?
So, of course, we know that's bad because we already talked about that. Right. But I wanted to say this. The only reason that the mumble rappers are kind of crashing now, I look at that as like the mumble rap, right? Where this mumble vibe rap, right? Where you just try to talk and you just say anything that don't even make sense. You just talking shit, right? But it's because the lyrical rappers are rapping. Right. You feel me? You got JID that's just dropped. What you gonna do? What y'all gonna do with that? What he gonna do with that? You feel me? So he ain't making no records like JID or Pusha T and the rest of them and Freddie Gibbs and all that. He ain't making no kind of records. So they back to their old tactics. You feel me? That's all of that is for real. It's back to your old tactics. You feel me? And so, you know, we wasn't going with it because, first of all, it was tasteless. It was tacky and an individual. If you go disrespect somebody publicly, you know, I know he talked to Steven Jackson, but no, I think he need to apologize to Black America. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not one for the private apologies. You feel me? If anything, you did it publicly, put out a statement. Because I think the best thing in the world is when people apologize to Black America. I don't care if you apologize to white folks and all. You apologize to us, though. You feel me? That shows a deep respect and reverence for the culture. Like, my bad, y'all. It ain't the most, like, it ain't like counsel them and all of that. It's just, you know, it's respect. Like, man, I was tripping. I was wilding. My bad. You feel me? Then move forward.
And you gotta be cognitive of what you're doing because you probably always been recorded. For instance.
And then you gotta realize it's dangerous because there's some cats in Houston that don't play about George like that. They don't care about none of those apologies. You feel me? Like this is people that George Floyd started a whole global movement behind his death. There's a lot of people that don't play about that.
Right.
You feel me? And so again, I don't think anything violent should happen to the young man. I did have people hit me up talking about that man need to get slapped up and beat up. I had people really call me. I ain't gonna tell you who called me. This is funny. I'll tell you afterwards. But I'm just saying, like, it is a serious thing. And, you know, in hip hop, I would say. It's not the most serious thing that's happening in the world, of course, because it's just a lyric. But it does speak towards, you know, I would say, what's the word I'm looking for? When somebody ain't hitting, they start getting desperate. Yeah. It seems desperate. That's what it seems like.
Yeah, attention is one hell of a drug, bro. There's recently been a video of track superstar Sha'Carri Richardson, you know, getting arrested for assaulting her boyfriend in the airport. She later got out of jail and apologized to her boyfriend, but there's been a lot of online commentary. For Charlamagne the God, for instance, says that it's a double standard when it comes to domestic situations. What's your thoughts on that?
Could you cut that light? Just that one right there. But no, yeah, it is a double standard. I would say this, specifically when it comes to, and I heard Ryan Clark talking about this on the Pivot. He said there's a double standard and there needs to be because women historically have been, you know, damaged by men in a patriarchal society, and a lot of different things. You know, and I think it's a dangerous narrative to set because the thing about domestic violence, it's not whether the woman is physically capable of harming a man. That's not where most of the domestic violence is verbal on women's side. A lot of these men are getting verbally abused, right? And there's a time I probably wouldn't give this level of empathy, but we see that black men have the highest rate of suicide in the country. Like, is that not an alarming stat that we focus on as men? We can't one moment push mental health and then on another moment say that there should be a double standard, right? So, no, I don't think that a man should ever touch and put his hands on a woman disrespectfully, and I don't think a woman should be putting her hands on a man. I think that, first of all, these are both dangerous situations, right? If a man can lose his temper in a moment, he actually ends up having to have way more discipline than a woman. Way more, right? Because if a man, he gets angry, something happens, and then he just loses himself, and then he smacks her, or he pushes her too hard, right? God forbid she hit her head, she bleed, and she get a black eye. That's on his reputation for the rest of his life. You feel me? A woman loses herself in that moment of anger. She slaps him, goes inside his head. She go about her day. There's no stigma on domestic violence on the woman's side, right? So, of course, as men, we have to be more cognitive and more disciplined of that and learn how to walk away from situations when we get that angry. Like, just leave. Like, that's it. Because you can get so angry that you lose yourself in that moment, right? And it can happen to the best of us. And so it's a reset. You got to take a breath and you just got to leave.
It seems like that's what he was trying to do.
He most likely did. I mean, you know, and shout out to Sha'Carri. I ain't even really about her. You feel me? She used to follow me back in the day. I didn't even know that, listen, I didn't know that Sha'Carri even dated men. You know, I thought Sha'Carri was lesbian. So that was actually the most surprising thing to me about the whole thing. No, I'm serious. I thought Sha'Carri ran the other way. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know she came back to play for this side. No, for real. Like, am I tripping? Am I missing something? When did Sha'Carri get back in this race?
I don't know.
When did she step back into this lane? Did anybody remind me? I need to turn this down a little bit. It's too bright in here. So, first of all, I'm glad that she back over here. You feel me? On this side. Whoa, that's too much. That's enough right there. Oh, no, that's too much. What's that like, y'all? That's bright as hell, but it's cool. about to do. Still hella bright, but we gonna get it together. Don't even worry about it. So yeah, I'm glad Sha'Carri came back on this side. You feel me, of things. I'm proud of her. I will say that. But I definitely thought she ran the other way. You feel me? So it's good to see she back on this side of the track. You feel me? Keep doing your thing. I want them to get their stuff together. I just didn't like the message that Ryan Clark put out there about that, saying that there were double standards and they should be double standards. That's a terrible message to put out there. There should not be double standards ever. Right? A lot of men that I know, man, they, especially this generation of men, a lot of them weak as hell. They can't handle a woman talking to them that crazy. That sticks with them, man. They go depressed. They become alcoholics. They start really tripping, and a lot of them become violent because of that kind of abuse. You know what I mean? A lot of young boys are abused by their mothers. You know what I mean? Verbally like that. So a woman has actually so much power, right, in her tongue, and what she speaks. She can speak life or she can speak death into that man. You feel me? So I think that part of it is actually the more important part when we start talking about domestic violence. You feel me? So I think we should really be thinking about what we say when we have platforms, and not just, I think some of us try to get to that thing, we try to appease women, so we just say anything. You feel me? And it's like, no, women want to hear something real. You feel me? Like, because I wouldn't want no woman verbally abusing my son. And I wouldn't want no weak son that allowed that to happen, but we know that a lot of men are being trained to be weak, so it's going to happen. You feel me? So, no, double standards I don't believe in. Not them kind of double standards. You feel me? But again, shout out to Sha'Carri Richardson. I hope she keep running her race, and I hope she stay on this side of the tracks. But if she done, it's not none of my business.
All right, in other news, let's shift the conversation. I recently seen an interview with rapper G Herbo, and he was explaining how he feel like people like Vlad TV, DJ Academics should start supporting the unity movement, basically, and sending money to help clean up the streets of Chicago. Mm-hmm. And of course, they responded was like, shit, the destruction y'all say that we caused, y'all give us the content to post about it. So y'all should be the ones helping it too, if that's the case. And I know that you also helped out with the unity movement alongside Golden Child and Lil Will. And I just seen Snoop Dogg putting the spotlight on it. I want you to break down like how important the unity movement is, and what's your thoughts on G Herbo's position on that?
I mean, he's right. I think that I would go beyond that. I think everybody should support it. You feel me? I think that if, and shout out to G Herbo, because I met him and we did some events in Chicago before. I think that, I don't know what G Herbo does behind the scenes, and none of the Chicago rappers done behind the scenes. But I think what would be important and what would be a good example is they supported it financially first. Right? I think that makes the most sense. It's their city, and I'm sure they're already doing stuff in their city. But specifically, the unity movement, I think it'll make the most sense in the world if they all supported it first. Right? I look at what Mr. Beast is doing. He raising money for something. I don't know. Right? We see Young Thug giving, $50,000?
Yeah, you don't even know who he is.
And again, like, I don't care about what he's doing. Not that it's not important. It's just, it's not on my list of things. I want to see Young Thug give that $50,000 to, you understand me, Golden Child. That matters. You feel me? I want to see those streamers and all those people giving all of that money to him. Go get that to Golden Child. You feel me? Or New Era. You feel me? Or Project High Level. You know what I'm talking about? But at the end of the day, man, you have to put your money where your mouth is if you go tell everybody else to do it. That's all I'm saying. So I would love to see all the Chicago rappers, you understand me, that's benefited from drill music do it, because Chicago need that change. You feel me? Like, Chicago really, really need that change, and the work that they doing over there is so important. It's hard work. You know what I mean? I hit a Golden Child sometimes. He be like, bro, I just got done with 5 marches. I just broke up 5 fights. You understand? I just patched up some gun wounds, and then afterwards I had to go mediate some conflict resolution. You feel me? And all of that was before 12 o'clock. I said, God damn, brother. You know, so on the back end, I'm trying to help him right? Keep the message going, keep the narration out there, and then also trying to help organize on the financial side, right? Because I want to see that movement grow to where there's just a renaissance in Chicago. And so shout out to my brother Golden Child because he's putting in that work. So it should not be up to him to make it successful. Lou will. It's up to Chicago to make it successful. You feel me? And so that city really needs to come together. So shout out all of the rappers that have been lending their credibility to it as well, because I think that's beautiful. My brother been in the trenches a long time. You feel me? And so he got my support 100%. You feel me? I'm definitely behind the unity movement. So, let's keep going. Let's keep pushing. I told him I want to do a campaign where we sell out 1 million shirts. You feel me? I want to be a part of that. That 1 million shirts should be able to go to funding the entire movement. You feel me? 1 million shirts. So we're going to talk about that a little more. I'm looking forward to that.
Speaking of unity and renaissance, Trump recently just deployed 800 National Guard members out into the streets of Washington, D.C. to take over the streets. He fired the chief of police or whatnot, and he said he want to do this in New York, Chicago, and many other cities. What's your thoughts on this, man? Is this his way of making America great again?
This nigga talking about is his way of making America great again. Who the hell is behind? Is that Brian Gumble back there? You know what I'm saying? Make America great. Listen, this is about making... This is about power. It's centralizing power, right? We live in a time, day and age where, listen, all the things that we talked about that we should be promoting and that we should be doing, a lot of people didn't pay attention to. And it's going to hit them hard like a slap in the face. You feel me? And so what Donald Trump is doing is a playbook that they're running, right? This dark enlightenment playbook, this tech feudalist playbook. Number one, he's checking the air as well, right? D.C. is an easy grab to be able to go in there, federalize it, put it under control, and then this is a test model for multiple cities, and he's attacking black cities, right? Because they want to put this all under their control, privatize the city, privatize the security of it, you understand me, and then flood these jails with these young black men. And then what do you see this psyop or this YN come from? First you dehumanize them, then you lock them up. So when people now they're trying to, you talk about this and people say, who else gonna handle the YNs? They're not saying who gonna handle these young black men, who gonna handle these YNs? They've effectively ran the psyop. They want to go to St. Louis, they want to go to Oakland, they want to go to Atlanta, right? They want to go to Memphis. And these cities are overrun. You understand me? These cities are a bunch of young, and I hate to say it, because there's so many young black men that's just out there killing each other. Like for no reason. They putting it on streaming now. You feel me? Like they smacking up other little kids with guns in a goddamn shower. Like they wilding. But this is propaganda, a part of a psyop. Because the question becomes is, all right, does over-policing ever help? The militarization of police ain't never helped. Right? Again, if you've seen him praising a model that happened in Brazil, what did they do in Brazil? Right? They locked everybody up without just due. Put them under that gang injunction, you understand me, and lock them up forever, essentially.
Remember, you used to do us like that in the same
Yeah, they pull up on you.
They put us in the gang, right? Take pictures of our tattoos.
Exactly. Everything. Put you in that book. And now what happens when you wire them, you dehumanize them, and then say, we're going to clean up the cities, but they're not going to do it by getting to the root of the problem. No, they're going to do it similar to what Brad did on that one movie, what's the one high school with Morgan Freeman?
Lean on Me.
Lean on Me.
Lean
on Me. He gonna do it the Lean on Me way. You feel me? He gonna go in there and he just gonna get rid of everybody. Right? He just gonna lock everybody up. Right? Don't care what magnitude of guilt, what are your circumstances, what caused it, not looking at education, right? Not looking at economic opportunities, not looking at the zip code targeting in those neighborhoods, not looking at none of the circumstances that caused it, because policing does not decrease crime. Now, what you can do is unjustly go in there and lock up everybody, right? And then there's no more crime. You never tried to fix the problem in a holistic matter. All you did was just get rid of everybody. Right? And so they're definitely going to try to do that. Right? And so these young men need to know that they're playing into a trick book right now. Right? They have a choice. But do they have a choice when they can't think? when they ain't even got consciousness whatsoever and they don't know an opportunity. And they're living in a time where things have changed so rapidly. I mean, so rapidly, right? That these young men can't keep up with this. These impoverished neighborhoods, these lower class neighborhoods can't keep up with this. The education was low and is outdated. There's not that many opportunities for them. You understand me? You're going to see an increase in crime where there's low education, there's low poverty, there's food deserts. You understand me? And there's not a lot of opportunity and nobody's focusing on quality of life, right? We seeing that young black men that have graduated from college are making the same amount of money as men who didn't, right? And so we have a very big issue right now with black men in America. And I'm having a hard time getting black men to understand this. This is our responsibility. We are black men, right? You call people for public meetings, for private meetings, and people don't understand the urgency of the time, right? And so, again, who's going to suffer? Our sons. When we see our young black men in the street, that is a direct indictment on black men. Those are our sons, right? We supposed to be the ones that are able to control our communities. Those are our sons. And they out there murdering each other. Like, that's an indictment on black men. You can't put that on white men. You can't put that on nobody but us. All right? So I think it's a fucked up movement, and niggas don't give a damn. They go tell these little niggas to gamble. They go tell them to smoke weed. They go tell them to drink. As long as they can turn them into a customer, they don't give a damn where they end up. They go sell them the worst fucking music on the planet Earth. So as much as we want to talk about Donald Trump, look at the culture that reinforces the behavior and that benefits off of it. That take the death of these young men and just capitalize off of it every single goddamn day. So it's like there's a problem with the whole entire structure, from the system to the culture to the music to the food. And it's like, man, yeah, we want to talk about what the government is doing. You feel me? But then what are we doing to add to the problem? So, that's why I look at my brother talking about what's the solution. Man, y'all know the goddamn solution. Y'all know the solution. Y'all ain't willing to do it anyway if I tell you. You know what I'm saying? Y'all been seeing the nation. You've been seeing people like New Era Detroit. You've been seeing individuals trying to curate a better culture, but who's actually going to get involved? Who's actually going to put money to it? Back in the day, man, anytime it was black capitalists and black elites, this is something they'll tell you about history. They've always funded abolitionists. Frederick Douglass got funded because of black people that was in business. Black people started in business in the welding industry, getting the oils and things of that nature. What did they do? They funded the revolution. So much so, they would even go to the goddamn slave auction blocks and they would buy slaves, they freedom. The new black capitalists ain't worth shit. They get niggas locked up. So that's where we lost our connection, this holistic connection. You feel me? So it's like, you can't do this by ourselves. And then when you make some progress, it feels like, damn, the goddamn culture is your enemy. Damn, I'm trying to get you to invest in yourself. I'm trying to see a better side of yourself. And they're selling you the exact opposite of it. So it's like, it has to be a shift in the consciousness and the renaissance that happens. We have to do all the things that work, not some of the things, right? So there's not no one solution, right? There are multiple solutions that have to happen, right? Because the problem is complex. We know we're not living in a simple time. You just give them this speech. You just bring them this money. You just bring them this resources. That's not the way it works anymore. You got to attack digitally. You got to attack physically. You got to attack in the resources. You got to give them spiritual consciousness. We got to build institutions. We have to shift the music. It has to be intellectual network. Like, there's a lot of things that have to happen in order for things to shift. But I know for a fact we got to all goddamn be on board with the time is now. So I feel sorry because there's a lot of people that just going to be sacrificed because niggas don't care. I think that's the ultimate idea, is that niggas don't care. And black man, again, this is an indictment on us, that if our sons are killing each other, then we're leading them to their death.
I like that. That was good. You getting good. You getting good.
Truth needs no rehearsal, B.
Facts. And you getting so good, right, that I know lately I've been having this conversation with you saying, like, Keys, bro, I'm tired of you putting out free content to people, man. You've been giving these game for ain't nobody gonna pay attention and pick up on the shit. So I'm telling you to put everything behind the paywall. Cause I recently just seen Patreon just paid out $10 billion to creators on Patreon.
You said 10 billion.
10 billion. And I think now we at that point where we didn't put out a lot of free content for people and put together events, and we pay for everything out of our pockets. We never had a sponsor, none of that. And I think the only way moving forward now is like getting behind the paywall. What's your thoughts on this Patreon situation?
Brother, listen, I'm with it. So all right, so there's this thing I was talking about this the other day about everything is about strategy. You know what I mean? I really had to understand why a lot of people didn't understand me at first. And I realized that they never grew up understanding any black man that thinks and moves like me. So it was hard for them to put me into a box. They was like, Keys, are you the new Malcolm X? No, I'm not the new Malcolm X. Are you a Martin Luther King? No. But those are mostly what people know the most about. They don't know. They heard of a Stokely Carmichael, don't really know him. They heard of Huey P. Newman, but don't really know them. The two main archetypes in the mind of the people are Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. So they're trying to place you into one of these categories. And then when you don't act inside the box of which they think that the circumference of Malcolm actions would have done, right? Malcolm was not a rich man. Martin was not a rich man. Martin didn't sell products. Malcolm didn't sell products, right? So they like, wait a minute. Why you not being like this person? Malcolm wouldn't have did this. Martin would have did this. And I'm like, that's fine. I never was trying to be Malcolm or Martin. I wasn't trying to be Malcolm or Martin. I'm just saying. See, what's missing in the psyche of most people, y'all never understood Elijah Muhammad. Well, most people, they're not looking for a Malcolm. They're not looking for a Martin, but they don't know that. They're actually looking for a Elijah Muhammad. Why? Because everything they described that they want a black man to do is what Elijah Muhammad did. And he's the only one who did it. It's actually what they're looking for. They want a black man to build an economic network. They want you to build a nation. They want you to build schools. They want you to build restaurants, right? They want you to build an army. They want you to build a nation within a nation, right? They want you to get the culture right, the men and the women right. Right? They want to have import exports and farm and buy land. Right? They want you to secure deals with other countries. Right? They want you to have a program that reforms the mind of the worst of us and turn them into the best of us. They want an Elijah Muhammad. They just don't know that because he was never taught that in school. You never had a poster of him. You never learned about his life. You never learned about his accomplishments. You never knew that he had an empire that was worth almost $500 million. Right? You never knew that he didn't tell his people to go vote. Right? He told you to do for self. He told you to save yourself. You want an Elijah Muhammad, you just don't know it. That's the problem with the world today. So now they're judging you by a metric because it's all they know. That's all we was trying to do. So listen, we definitely gonna do anyway. I don't know how I got to that point, but that movie, I don't know how I got to that point. I was just feeling it. But yes, I'm gonna do the Patreon. Yes, I'm gonna do the Patreon, brother. That's what we was coming back to. For sure, we gonna do that.
Man, this is my last topic, and it's personal for me, cause like I want to be the first to tell you, man, I'm proud of you for getting this done. Because we've been working diligently on getting this done. And let's talk about this upcoming album that you dropped.
Yes, sir.
I don't think the people know that you already made over $7,000 off of the album before it has already been officially dropped and premiered to the world. I want to know, like, what was your process doing that, or do you even want to show that? Also, what can people expect on this album, man, and what's the title of it?
All right, so we go get into the titles and we go get into all of that. So let me get into the how I did it the first way and what I'm gonna do with the rest, because I plan on making at least 6 figures, right, independently before the end of this year, right? So I like to share my blueprints with people, right? Because the blueprints are always evolving, and this is why I think philosophically about everything that I do, right? I'm not afraid to share a blueprint because there's many out there. I was actually just writing, and I just finished this book called Becoming High Level, right? How do you turn your ideas into systems, money, and influence? Because I really want to just share the way I built, right? And how other people can follow that same pattern. I really built off being a confident man, really built off being a confident black man in this world. And so even when it comes to an album, we want to prove everything with our independent high-level models. We did it with the podcast, we do it with the albums, we do it with the clothing, we do it with the tour. Like, I'm an example, the coffee brand, I'm an example of everything that I teach first, right? We do it with no gatekeeping, we able to go on all the platforms that we want to, right? I'm an example of what I teach. I'm not just teaching none of these things from theory, right? So as I tell... In 2020, I think maybe, I went to, was that 22 or 23 when I went to London. At Royal Albert Hall, 5,000 people, we sold out the tour. And there I gave a model of how artists, right, need to focus on not trying to get 1 million streams, right? Because I said that 100 fans are worth more than 1 million streams. That's right. I said it. Right? What my brother Scarface say? He say, man, mainstream just $4,000. $4,000.
Versus if you get 1,000 people to give you $100.
Yeah. Or you get
100 people to give you $1,000.
100 people to give you in between $19 and $200, and you get double that. Yeah. Right? So I only had 100 plus people that bought the album, and I say only. But that's $7,000. That's more than 99% of artists make on their music. You know what I'm saying?
That's more than the artists who get 1 million streams.
That's more than the artists get 1 million streams. I ain't put it on the platform. But what do I teach? I teach people to create a community. Focus on your core base. Build something for your people. Right? Do I need it to be judged with, or did it chart and make bill? But did you make some goddamn money? Did you get reciprocation from your art, your energy, and your time and your creativity? Did the people like it? All of that, did it chart? Did it make numbers? What was that? What the brother say, man? Y'all worrying about numbers like y'all executives. You not getting paid off that. What you worried about them numbers for? Oh, it didn't do this number. You acting like you getting a cut. You ain't. I don't know if y'all know this, but you not getting a cut. You feel me? Then most people actually never paid their artists, especially black fans. I ain't gonna lie. Shout out to my black fans. Y'all different. But when y'all be fans of them niggas, you feel me, instead of fans of the gods, y'all don't be wanting to pay them. You feel me? Barely go to buy any of their merch. You think Travis Scott is selling that to black fans? Hell no. He's selling that to little white boys and little girls. You understand me? They buying his little merch bundle packs. You feel me? So that he can chart. You feel me? He not selling that to no black people. I ain't never seen no black people wear that merch.
How many tracks on this album, man? And what was your favorite song that you recorded?
Oh yeah, man. Let me get back to the album. Man. So anyway, I've been doing this for almost a year now in this process. We got a lot of songs, and it was really kind of like editing it down. So what we did was we was pushing. First, let me tell them how I did it. My formula was to think about how can I get the music to the people? How can I get them involved in the process, right? So we created the Concept Living album, right? Shout out to Nipsey Hussle, because he did that, pay what you want model. And I remember Jay-Z bought 100 copies of that, right? So we connected with, first I put it on this platform called Untitled. Untitled allows me to allow people to play the album just like it's on Apple Music. They can stream it, et cetera, et cetera. I can track how many people are watching it, right, et cetera, et cetera. And I can put it behind a password. I can allow you to create an account. I can let you download it. And then I put people in a community group, and they're able to give me feedback on what they like about the album. So I call it the Living Album because it's still changing, right? We might add a person on the verse. I just got the verse from Lareezy. Shout out to my brother Lareezy, Louisiana. You know what I'm talking about? Up and coming. He sent me a verse on I Want It All. No. Set 'Em Free. Fire. Can't wait for y'all to hear that. Fire. So that was fire. So again, I remember I let YG hear some stuff back in the day. We let my brother Hit Boy hear stuff. I just sent stuff to Freddie Gibbs, Joey Badass. Like, you know, shout out to my brother Rand's been in the process. There's been a lot of people that's been behind the scenes that know about this. My brother Steve Jones, you feel me? I-10, you know, Jack Hella Classic. You feel me? I could drop more names, but I you know, I'm not the gang. You feel me? That's his thing. You feel me? So let me stop biting. But what happened is that people have been buying the album anywhere between $19 and $200, right? Some people love it, they'll buy it, and then they go give some more money. It's like, bro, this is so good, man. I really wanted to give you my whole crypto wallet. And I said, bro, you ain't got to give me a whole Bitcoin. unless you want to. You ain't give me a whole Bitcoin. Like, we accept crypto. Like, you can get the wallet. Don't worry about it. So anyway, you know, I just looked at it the other day. I didn't realize we was passively selling it. And I'm like, wow, right? We actually made almost $10,000 with it. So now it goes into the second phase. We're working with a new platform called Unreleased. It's a better way to release music so that the artists are able to keep more of their revenue. So I really want to work with this platform so that artists don't have to starve, right? And so that you can figure out ways to create more unlockables and get people along that journey, to incentivize bonuses, bundle packs, right, etc., videos, all of these different things. And so this is not just my journey into the music industry, but also helping out artists, because I'm tired of our artists being robbed. I'm tired of our artists starving, and we need our artists. We need our artists to curate the new renaissance. We need them to make music that they don't have to sacrifice their soul for, right? And so that's a part of the journey with this whole entire thing as well. Y'all know I got to do everything with a deeper meaning cause. So now we can get into some of my favorite songs. So, to me, I probably would have to say Set 'Em Free and I Want It All. But I got a new one. It's a bonus one. It's Memphis. I ain't gonna lie. That one of my favorite flows. I ain't gonna lie. That one hard as hell. I ain't gonna lie to you, brother. That one of the ones. Yeah, I'm putting that one out there ASAP-ish. ASAP-ish. Y'all go get that one for sure.
So I'm gonna put the link up for you.
Yeah. DM me the word album. I'm gonna send you the new link, right? So the new link allows you to be able to get access basically just by putting in your information for the new song Memphis. So I haven't finished it. And I'm not the type of person, I don't need it to be finished for y'all to listen to. The only part that's not finished is like the last verse. I have to add something. I want it to finish better, more climatic. But I like the flow that I got into. I got into a crazy pocket there. And then the verse is so deep. You feel me? Because it sounds like it's something fly. But if you listen, you're going to be like, wait a minute. He's spitting double, quadruple, quintuple, sextuple entendres. You understand me? How he put so many entendres in there? How you put so many entendres in there? You feel me? I got this one line that say, how many kings got to die in Memphis? Now, y'all got to think about that. Because Memphis is an interesting city, right? Memphis is named after, right, of course, the city of Memphis in ancient Kemet, right? But also Martin Luther King died in Memphis. Young Dolph died in Memphis. There was a new rapper that just died in Memphis. You understand me? Now, I ain't going to go any deeper into what it is, but it's a multi-layered track, right? And when y'all hear it, there's going to be a surprise element. Y'all going to start smiling to yourself like, oh, Keys, Big Keys ain't playing. You feel me? Big Keys on this one. So the album, man, I ain't going to lie, my brother Rance was getting tired of me. He said, you got to put it out, so we got a date for it. You feel me? But I really enjoying the experience with the fan listening to it, right? Hearing y'all feedback. Looking at which ones y'all listening to the most, right? Because I've been in the gym with mine. I like riding around with the music. I just like getting into another world with it. You feel me? And so it's a vibe. You feel me? You got to tap in. Shout out to Rap Drills. I see y'all. And y'all might see me on some of them platforms. You know, I can step on any platform. Don't get me wrong. Y'all know I'm actually one of the greatest freestyle artists in the history of existence. Right? In the history of existences. And so the thing is, I've been focusing on my thought leadership. You know, I'm doing so many things at once. So it's like finding the time to do the music is always another thing. And so what I'm trying to do, or not what I'm trying to do, but what I'm doing is usually when I get the inspiration and I got the time, I go to the studio because what I'm really trying to do is capture, right, the essence of that moment. Because sometimes it's not the same. Like when I get that feeling, it's just like something boils up in me and I need the microphone there, right? And then that's when I capture something, and I love going to the studio because I get to leave with something new. So I don't have to listen to, you know what I mean, Lil Yachty talking about putting foots on necks, you understand me? I get to put my foot on the neck of the devil. It's different, you digs? Yeah. I feel like there was something else. Oh, fuck, there was something else. Family, was there something else I'm missing? Oh, my brother Dr. Umar. The Dr. Umar, they trying to kick him out of school.
Oh, I did see that.
You
I see that today.
Yeah, man. I don't like to see that. I don't. All right? I think that somebody say, stay in your lane. What's my lane? What's my lane? Come on, somebody, come on, man. There ain't no lanes in the air, man. Ain't no lanes in space, man. Come on, man. Lanes are for cars. You feel me? Lanes are for land vehicles. You feel me? I'm a whole god out here, man. We don't have lanes. We have streams of consciousness. And what comes into that stream of consciousness, you just gonna have to deal with. Talking about a lane. We don't deal with lanes, brother. You understand me? We don't deal with lanes. We are Superman, but we don't deal with lanes. So we do whatever we want to. You just got to understand that. You know, I'm going to reserve my thoughts on that for now. Let me capture my thoughts so that I can speak intelligently about this. And I can speak from a place of, you know what I mean, real truth. And there's a lot of things that I do want to say about this, but I'm going to reserve my thoughts from now. But you got to know it's takeover time, man, and it's now or never. I'm going to be honest with you. It's a now or never type of thing. I really appreciate y'all tapping in. My heart be weighing heavy every single day these days. I had to talk with somebody today who I know their heart was weighing heavy. And, you know, I don't think people be understanding the burden of awareness. You know, I was thinking about this today, and it's just talking about how it's unnatural that we know so much. The burden of awareness. When you know so much, you end up having to hold all this information. And what you're trying to do is increase your level of power to your level of knowledge so that you have the ability, right, to affect that which you know. And it could be a very dangerous thing. It can really weigh on you. Like, sometimes I don't get much sleep. I wake up early thinking about things that I wish I didn't. Right? And taking the time to make sure that what we're doing is correct, you know what I mean, is key. And I see so many people suffering. The strongest ones of us are suffering right now, not the weakest ones. The weakest ones get stuck in their bliss, because ignorance is bliss, right? As they say, but it's not real bliss. But knowledge itself, knowledge is a responsibility. And there's never been a time in the history of the planet where people knew this much, where we're holding this many dimensions at once, where we're worrying about what's happening in each city, we're worrying about what's happening across the planet Earth, wondering about political agendas and technological agendas, right? Then you have to deal with your own life and your own suffering. And so there's never been a point in time where people have become this aware ever on the planet. And I think the suffering that people are going through, the mental health issues, the depression, the stress, the suicide, the anxiety that you're feeling is because you're holding too much and you don't have the bandwidth, you don't have the capacity to be able to deal with what you know. And I think it's going to force right? And evolution and human consciousness. So it makes people want to check out a reality. And I can't do nothing about that. I ain't got time for that. So I understand is all I'm saying. I understand what it's like to have the burden of awareness. And you almost feel crazy because you're trying to get people to, like, bro, do you not see the writing on the wall? Do you not see that the now is now? And just because you have the knowledge don't mean that you have the capacity all the time to execute everything in the way in which you need to do, because you can go out there and run your race. You can go, it's like you want to go fight a giant with a sword. You can go out there mighty. You can go out there with all your heart. At the end of the day, you just go cutting. And for you, that might have been enough, because maybe just showing that heart, maybe that inspires the world. So that's why Huey P. Newton talks about it, and he called it revolutionary suicide. Not that you want to commit suicide, of course, but he thinks about this concept that when you're a revolution, right, it ultimately ends up in your demise. Finding something that's worthy to kill for, something that's worthy to live for, that's just being patriotic. So I understand the burden of awareness. It's a lot going on in the world, man. And it could feel bleak. It could feel pessimistic at times. And I ain't a pessimistic person by means at all, because I'm always thinking optimistically. But when you see everything outside your window, man, it's hard for you to use your imagination. And so optimism exists in the imagination. But I see some of the strongest of us, man, they beginning to give up. I see some of the strongest of us, and they ain't got that shine right now. I see how they being affected. And I don't like it. And I can't afford to be like that, because I must remind people that it's our time, that first of all, regardless, we're going to be the winners. No matter what they do, we're going to be the winners. I'm optimistic about our future, no matter how we got to get there. No matter how we got to get there. Sometimes we got to go through the worst to get to the best. So don't be afraid. Not at this time. Some of you all might side with the devil because you feel like it's safer. You feel like they won't see you. You feel like if you can act like it's not happening to you, then maybe it won't come to you. Yeah, I see it. That's just fear. Maybe if I be quiet, maybe the beast won't come and get me. You in the belly of it already. You just making yourself easier as a target. They just know who the weakest ones. You the one that they despise. The devil hates a go get along Negro. He don't respect you. He just know he got you. He got you bought. He ain't even had to give you no money. He bought you with fear. There's only a few people on this planet Earth that's even free. And most people don't know what freedom is. Don't know what it feels like. Don't know what it means to be free, to speak how you want to think how you want to be independent on your time. Don't know it, never experienced it. So you won't know if you lost it. What is it to a man that never experienced it? I see your freedom being snatched away, taken away. Can't own anything. On a slave ship and happy on it, just want a more comfortable position. Don't know ownership, don't know rulership, and don't know shit about no mothership. There's absolutely no reason at this time to be peaceful. There's no reason on this time to be peaceful. Peace is reserved for a time where there's no violence being committed against us. There's no oppression being committed against us. There's no injustices being committed against us. And everywhere I look, all those things are happening. We can remember the fact that we are not in control of it all. All things pass. All things are but cycles. And sometimes things feel heavier. Not because it is, but because sometimes we get weaker. So you have to ask yourself, does the weight of the burden that we carry, you understand me, is that the reason that is heavy? Or is it the strength of the carrier of the burden? So if you're going to hold all this awareness about the world, then you have to increase your resilience. You have to increase your capacity to be able to deal with that which you know. You can't be walking around here knowing about everything that's happening in the AI and everything that's happening in this country and everything that's happening in the hood and the militarization and you're not increasing your capacity to hold that information, to empower yourself. You can't afford that. So there's an upgrade that has to happen on this planet Earth in order for people to be able to survive here mentally. Otherwise, you're going to see a lot of people clocking out prematurely. You're going to see an increase in escapism. Right? You're going to see a lot of people giving up. Black women don't even want to have no babies. These young women don't even want to have no babies and no family nowadays because they don't want to bring a child in here. These young YNs, my bad. I don't mean to call them YNs. These young guys that they're calling YNs, that they dehumanize and don't believe about their future. Don't believe they have a future. So they crash out as a form of control. That's what we're seeing nowadays. So yes, there's the burden of awareness. And then there's the capacity to carry that burden till it becomes lighter and lighter. You got to work out with the burden. How do you do that? You have to feed your mind victory. You got to feed your mind victory. Feed your mind the narratives of your success and your victory every day. Don't let them strip you of your power. Once you stop imagining your victory, it stops becoming possible. That's why they want to show you in chains. That's why they want to show you weak, subservient. Because they don't want you to imagine your victory. They don't want you to imagine your strength. They don't want you to know yourself. So you have to make sure that you're always in your victory. We don't ever operate with a victim mindset. We only operate from a place of victory. No matter how hard it seems, no matter impossible that it seems, we never give up. Because in the end, we will be the victors. We reverse engineer and think about exactly how it happened and how we got there. And that goes to every facet of your life. Don't accept your circumstances when there are much greater ones waiting for you. Just remember that. And breathe, family. Because remember, when we stop breathing, we stop living. So breathe. Don't get nervous. It's our time. They nervous. When the devil get nervous, God should get happy. When they pulling out all the things that they doing is desperation. Why they desperate? Because they weakening. These are not signs of strength. These are not signs of strength. These are signs of weakness. Know your time. Your time is now. Your time is now. Your time is now. Your time is now. This is the time you've been waiting for. This is the time you're supposed to activate. The question is we talk about getting money, and we gonna continue to get our money. But what we gonna do with it? What we gonna do with it? Capitalism ain't gonna save you. You gotta save yourself. What are we gonna build with it? What do we believe in collectively? Do we believe in our power? Do we believe in creating alternative systems? Do we believe in our sovereignty? What do we believe in? Who are our real enemies? A man with no enemies is not a man at all, because he don't stand for or against anything. We supposed to be the most radical revolutionary generation. We've been rocked to sleep so many goddamn times. We've been rocked to sleep so many times. This is supposed to really be our time. It's supposed to be our harvest season. But there's nothing to harvest if you don't ever plant the seeds, invest, and take care of it. Just think about that for a second. What if we can win just by changing the way we feel? By changing the way we think, instantly overnight. By changing what we do, what we believe in. What if the winning just had to happen in the mind first? And then after that, just by changing yourself, you automatically organize. You automatically do for self. You automatically put down your weaknesses and tap into your God. What if that's the what we've been waiting for this whole time? So, again, yes, there's the burden of awareness. Fast from it. Fast from things you can't do. Focus on your local environment. What can you put together? Ask yourself, where do I fit in the grand scheme of things? What are my gifts and my skills and my talents? And what division do I fit in? We talk about unity a lot. Right? But as we talk about unity, what does unity mean without having divisions? And divisions meaning that in every army there's divisions. Right? Every single army there are divisions. And in those divisions, the question is, what division do you fit into? So again, I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Let's keep building. Let's keep taking care of each other. You feel me? That was just something to put on your thought. Know there's the burden of awareness. Learn to let go. Learn to pick up what you can. And learn to move accordingly. Peace to the family. Peace to the family. I appreciate y'all.